Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Well, today's high is going to be 78, and we finally got some rain. So everything's wet outside, but I don't think we got anything torrential during the night. It's kind of a off and on thing. So it's cloudy out and kind of gray, but we haven't had a day like that in a long time. It would be nice if we didn't have that much snow this winter. If the drier weather continued, that would be fine with me. But I guess the trees need that. They need the precipitation from the winter. I don't know. I don't have that much information on it. So, time for some coffee. Looking forward to this. So cheers. Caramel macchiato foam. So I have a doctor's appointment this morning. It's just for my yearly checkup. They like you to get a yearly checkup for Medicare. So I'm going to go do that. And then I'll probably just come home and do a little bit of cleaning up. I won't be working in the garden today. And I wish I would have gotten a little bit more done while the weather was good. But we'll have some nice days yet. But for the next couple days, there's rain in the forecast. That doesn't mean it's going to rain, but there's a potential. So it's not going to be a real exciting day, hopefully, knock on wood. Boring days are fine with me. I always have a lot to keep me occupied. So I've never understood the concept where people say they're bored and don't have anything to do. There's so much to do. Not just work-wise, but even entertainment-wise. So there's a difference between not having anything to do and not wanting to do something. Sometimes you get a little bored with your routines that you have to do. I've never been much of a routine person. I just get up in the morning and then I decide what it is I want to do. Certain hygiene routines that, of course you have. But as far as, I clean on this day, I cook on this day, I don't have any routines like that. I just kind of do what I feel like doing. And sometimes that's nothing. And on those days, I'll figure out what it is I'd like to do, like maybe I want to read. Maybe I want to watch television. Maybe I want to take a nap. Maybe I want to do some crafts. It depends. It all depends on my mood. That way it keeps me from getting bored with things that I feel that I have to do. Because that's all pretty much self-imposed anyway. You have to pay taxes or you get in trouble. You have to follow the law or you get in trouble. But, there's lots of people that don't even do that. So then they get in trouble and have to face the consequences. So there are always consequences, good consequences and bad, that follow your choices. So, all right, well, I am going to go sit and drink my coffee. I suppose I could call that a morning routine. But that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be back. Well, today I went to the doctor and it was just for a Medicare yearly checkup. So he ordered a couple blood tests. He said the last time I had the blood tests done, everything was perfect. There weren't really any issues. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough vitamin D. I asked him, I like my doctor. I haven't been going to this fellow for very long. He took over from my other doctor that I have been going to for years. But I really like this guy. He listens to me. So I was telling him that I'm a vegetarian and that, I wanted to make sure I have enough vitamin B, enough vitamin D, and magnesium in my system, because that's important. Even people that eat meat or other things, I think it's important that you have blood tests done once a year to make sure that you get enough of these vitamins and that you're not deficient in anything. So tomorrow I'm going to go have the blood test because I have another doctor's appointment tomorrow for the gut doctor. So after my last episode, I've been kind of working on trying to fix my own problems. So I do a lot of research. So I ordered this book and I just got it. I haven't even really started reading it yet, but I've heard a lot of good things about DMSO, and it's dimethyl sulfoxide is what it is. And it has a whole bunch of different things, how it works. It has some formulas in it that you can use for different ailments. So I think it's going to be a good book, and I have to wait and see. I want to educate myself before I actually start using it for anything that pertains to me and my body. So I always encourage everybody to do their own research. And even if you go to a doctor, the doctors don't know everything, so if you get information, you can always take it to your doctor, and if they're not aware of whatever you're thinking of doing, talk to them about it, and maybe they'll educate themselves on it. So this was written by Amanda, well, I think it's Amanda, but it's spelled funny. Volmer, that's who wrote it. Yeah, it's spelled a little different. So anyway, she has a degree in agricultural biology. So just thought I'd share that if anybody else has an interest in looking into that. So my blood pressure was great. It was only 113/70 something, so that's not an issue. My cholesterol is a little elevated, but the doctor asked me, do you want to take medication for that? And I told him no. I don't want to take medication. He seemed to be fine with that. So anyway, that's one of the things I like about him. He asked me if I wanted any vaccinations, any of that, and I don't take those either. So, and he's good with that too. So he guides me, but he also lets me take charge of my own health care. Now, of course, if I have a question, he'll address it. And I asked him for a prescription for retin A because I have this little spot on my nose. It's real small. And it's flat, and it's been there for years. And I feel like I want to peel it off, but it doesn't come off. So I asked him for a prescription for retin A because I want to try that on the spot, and maybe it'll soften it, and I can get rid of that. But like I said, it's been there for years, so it's not anything, that's going to harm me. But it bothers me when I touch my nose. It's like a just like a rough patch is what it is. So I also was thinking about, with everything that's kind of gone on this past week, and um, how some people are up in arms and all that. And I thought, why are some people so, they just have to convince you they're right. It's their way is the right way. There's no other way to go. And, I was thinking about that, and I thought, a lot of these people that behave that way, I think, now this is my opinion, I think they have a very low self-esteem because they need to have everything they do validated. They need to have their ideas validated, and that they need to have their sexuality validated. They need to have their lifestyle validated. It's like one big constant flow of things that they have to have validated. It's exhausting. Normal people don't need to have all that stuff validated. It's like, this is me, this is how I am, this is how I live my life. Like it or not, like me or not, I don't care. But these people, they will argue and argue with you and try and make you feel like, you're wrong, and until you agree with them. They just keep picking and picking and picking. And then if you don't agree with them, they just shout over you. It's like they can't have a rational conversation. They just get louder and louder and louder. Even if you stop talking, then they get in your face. And that's just, it's not a good way to live. Those people are very unhappy because I don't feel like anybody has to validate what I do. If you don't like it, then go away. Go find somebody else to harass. That's the way I feel about it. So I find that people that behave that way, they're very judgmental. A lot of them have anger issues. If you don't agree with them, like I said, they just get louder and more. Some of them start getting physical and in your face, and that's just not right. It's not cool. Walk away. What other people think is none of your business, and it's their own business what they think, and you don't have to agree. You don't have to agree. And if you don't want to have a conversation about it, then just leave each other alone. It's that simple. This is not complicated. It's just that easy and that simple. So, if you don't like what I eat, I know my last ex-husband, he was a big meat eater. He loved meat. And, when we were together, I became a vegetarian. And that was, a good dozen years ago. And he just couldn't get past that. It's like, I don't care what you eat. Eat what you want. Don't worry about what I'm putting in my mouth. Why would anybody care about that? I don't care what you put in your mouth. Why would you care what I put in my mouth? But, it would be like, oh, look, don't you want a bite of this? Oh, look how delicious that looks. No, I don't. Why are you sticking it in my face? What is wrong with you? So anyway, but there's lots of people out there that that behave that way. And, if you don't keep your house the way they think you should, or if you don't dress the way they do, it's like, I don't care. Go do you. I'll do me. And it's none of your business what I do. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I was thinking about why do some people act the way they act. And I really, really think, in my opinion, they just have low self-esteem, and they have to have validation from everybody. And if you can't validate what they're saying, then they get angry. So anyway, that's pretty much, I'm still eating leftovers, different things, trying to keep from throwing things away, and trying to eat fairly decent food. You know, I try not to eat too much in the way of junk food, even though I do eat potato chips almost every day. I'll have a handful of those. I do eat chocolate. Some of the things that I eat that isn't good for me. I'll have ice cream now and then, or a couple cookies, but I try not to overdo it. You know, I try not to eat like, I'll have a couple cookies, or if it's a big cookie, I'll have a cookie, and maybe with a cup of coffee. But you know, I wouldn't get mad if you had a whole box of cookies. What do I care? Even though I know it's not good for you, and you know it's not good for you, but it's not my job to fix you. And I think that's what so many people want to do. They want to go around fix everybody to their standards. And yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Either way is fine with me. I know how I feel. So anyway, that's all I have for you today, my friends. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.